Brian, a tough, hard fight. You came out with the win now. How are you feeling?
I'm relieved to get the win, happy to get the win, but I'm annoyed at myself for how I fought that fight. My last fight was a masterclass. It's what John Kavanagh told me just to do before I went out. And I had it in my mind all this camp that I needed to go out and needed to get the finish. And I went looking for it way too much. I was annoyed at myself how I allowed myself to be dictated in my own mind on how to perform. I thought I'd done all the right things for the last one. I thought I checked all the boxes to get a big fight. I walked out to the crowd tonight and they were great, but I was on so early that it was about half the decibels that what I feel like I could have got and what I feel like the crowd deserved, to be perfectly honest. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board and I'm going to have to try and stop these outside influences coming in and trying to dictate how I perform, if that makes sense.
He cracked you very hard early. You cracked him back very hard almost immediately. Can you talk us through that sequence, what you remember of it and how you felt after it?
Luke is a very awkward character, and I knew that. He has this offset timing. Like, that's how Gennady Golovkin can land such good shots. It's not a bum, it's like a bum. And you're like, sometimes will miss on the block or miss on the pull. And yeah, he clipped me, but I also knew then he gets a bit, gung-ho for the next shot. So I knew he was open for the right hand, so I cracked him with that. The uppercut, he must have studied me. He kept leaning back. He was fighting like a tall guy. That wasn't there. But again, I went looking for it because I wanted to spark him. I wanted to send the crowd crazy, and lessons learned. What I did show was a lot of heart again. That's how I was in the bank. So yeah, onwards. I have one masterclass performance and now one gritty, hearty performance. Let's put them together for the next one in a good fight in Dublin, higher up on the card.
We spoke about the illegal blows before the fight. There was another one today. What do you think of that?
Sickened with it. Like I said, the officials are fantastic, but I said, look, lads, this is what happens. In the weigh-ins, I said to my opponent, I said, look, you're coming over to my patch. We fight clean and we fight hard here. Don't bring that bullshit. And again, that's exactly what he did. But I was more upset that I done this lovely palm away, thumbs and fingers were pointed in the air, and he acted up, and I was really pissed off with that. I know why that was. I hit him that spinning wheel kick beautifully in the last, and I knew he was winded going into that. I don't think he took the 60 seconds in that break to recover. I think he needed more, and he just looked for that opportunity to do so, you know.
Last one from you're a perfectionist, obviously, and the Lugo fight you came out with the loss, and you were devastated after that, but you were nearly happy with how good the performance was. You come out with the win today, and you're nearly more devastated.
I am. Let's be honest. You deserve better. They deserve better. I fucking deserve better. I can't put that much time and effort. I can't ask my coaches to put that much time and effort in me, and me to not fully show up. Now, look, that's always there more than any man on this island. I'm telling you that. You could put two of him in with me, and I'll still find manage a way to survive and get through it. But yeah, I'm a perfectionist. I know I'm a better martial artist. You said I was in the top 20 in the world. I agree with that, but I need to put on performances back to back to show that. But like, to be honest, give me someone now who's going to get me up to make me fucking feel like, I'm going to fight up on them levels. You know what I mean? I'm better than him, and onwards we go, yeah? Onwards we go.
Brian, you were chatting to Mike Mazzulli about that eye poke, or the lack of eye poke. Why was it important that you had a little chat with Mike Mazzulli there?
So I love Mike. He's a really good guy. As I don't know, it might be hard for you to understand or maybe it's not. Maybe you see it very clearly. But the Bellator staff and the guys that get in are absolutely salt of the earth guys. I get on well with all of them. I consider a lot of these guys my friends. Mike is a good guy. He's been here since day one. I chat with him regularly. I always love bumping into him. So I felt like I was probably trying to dictate his job. I sensed I was annoying him. He was trying to fucking look at the monitor and I was yapping in his ear. So I just wanted to give him an apology. You know what I mean? I would have been annoyed if the shoe was on the other foot.
You know, you often talked about your dislike for cheaters. Was it a case that you didn't want to be labelled as a cheater?
100%. I'm a prick when you fight me. I'm the worst cunt on earth. I won't. Like, you seen the last 10 seconds, I was just winging elbows. I didn't care. I wanted to hurt them so badly. But I'm a clean fighter. Like, I want to win the right way. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to be labelled that, you know.
I know you were saying you're a little bit disappointed in your performance, but we spoke with Scott Coker just yesterday after weigh-ins. We were asking him, is it a finish that you need to get the fights you've been calling for? And he just said, you just need to keep winning. Winning will solve everything. Is now the time for the Higo fight? Is that the fight you want next?
I'd love to fight Jose Aldi next. He's just, I would destroy him. Like I said, an Aldi version of Jose Aldo, and I've been studying Jose Aldo my whole life. I destroy Higo 100%. And Higo is more conventional. You give me that little awkward Italian dude. He's tricky to, he's just all awkward, shitty stuff. You see it when you spar beginners. They'll clip you. You're like, what the fuck? But you give a good guy who's technically does the right things, and you put him away. And I think Higo is that. And I think I'll take his ranking in the morning. You know what I mean?
Is he one of those guys that you're talking about that will elevate your performance by fighting someone who's up there in the division?
Yeah, I'm like Liverpool a few years ago. You know what I mean? You give me I don't support Liverpool anymore, but I used to be a big Liverpool fan. And I when they used to play like United, they used to be brilliant. When they used to play fucking Ipswich, I was like, fuck me. I'm like that, you know what I mean? You give me a good guy, I'm gonna get up out of bed a little bit earlier, I'm gonna try. I'm a very hard worker, but mentally I'll just switch on, I'll hit another gear, you know. Tonight I felt like this guy was a banana skin but we didn't slip, so.
All right, Brian, congrats on the performance. Just as the lads were saying there, you've been calling for the Higo fight for a while now. I know it's probably unlikely that you're going to be able to turn around for that card that Higo was meant to be fighting James Gallagher on, but ideally, would you be fighting Higo back here in Dublin sometime around September, October?
Yeah, and main event, co-main event, that's what I feel like I deserve. I think that's what the crowd deserves. Like, this place erupts when I walk out, but tonight I was low on the card and the place was still filling. That song Fields of Athenry and my performances deserve more than that, I feel. And, I'm so invested in this particular card, Dublin card, because these are my people and I want to give them a great fight, and I think the Higo fight makes a lot of sense, or anyone in that top 10.
Just as your fellow Wexford man, I have to ask what pubs you will be frequenting in Wexford once you get back.
Sorry, say what?
Just as a fellow Wexford man, I have to ask what pubs you'll be frequenting once you get back to Wexford.
The locals, really, Culfers or Murphy's. There's a couple of names in Carrick. Musters or O'Brien's. They all have about 4 different names each pub, but I'll make a little trip around town for sure, yeah. No.
I know you're very hard in your performance there. Something I thought you'd done very well was fight off the back foot, including the beautiful pull counter you hit him with that dropped him.
Yeah.
Was that part of the plan going in, or was that because he was aggressive, something you had to adjust to?
A big part of the plan was to pull with the uppercut after, because you could see actually in his first exchange, big overhand right, and he let his head down here, and I didn't pull the trigger on the 6, and then he started fighting kind of upright, so the 2 was there. He actually adapted very well, and he done some clever things, but there was things he done that I'd studied that I didn't capitalise on. So, but he's just a very awkward dude, and I'm probably being a bit pessimistic, and I'm probably been a bit doom and gloom. But I came out with the win on a night where I didn't perform my best, and onwards we go.
You cut a kind of a frustrated figure. There was one point in the fight where you pushed on your hand, you done your footwork, shook your head, and it kind of seemed like you were trying to reset then. Was it as frustrating in there as it looked to be on the outside? Yeah,
but I kind of felt that the way the last couple of weeks went. I was very my excellent striking coach Cormac Bryan. We would tape every session. There's not a pad session that we don't tape, and then evaluate. And I noticed that I would do the session and say, fuck, that didn't feel good, that didn't feel clean, I felt clunky. And then I would literally look at it back and it was fucking flawless. So in my mind, I was in my mind for the last couple of weeks from a technical end. But mentally, I was tough as nails, you know what I mean? So,
is there any particular aspect you're working on with him that you didn't show in there, that you're frustrated that you didn't get to show?
Yeah, calf kicks. I really wanted to get the calf kicks off, and I landed like 2 that were nice, and then I didn't throw them anymore, and I wanted to spin a little bit more. I didn't go southpaw once, and we've done a lot of southpaw work. Lots. But there was lots of good stuff too. And like I said, if I don't show up here, I'll always show up here.
Appreciate that. Thanks a lot.
Thank
Congrats
you,
on the win.
Always. Thanks, guys.